Hello, everyone, and welcome back to this corner of the internet. I am sincerely Cypher, and was that a time lapse or was that a time lapse? Yeah, baby. So this here is the waterfall being created in that time lapse. I think it turned out really nicely. I have to be careful about moving my cursor here too far to the left. Basically, full disclosure, I recorded all of episode 2, or at least all the relevant bits outside the time lapses, and then I was in the editing software and found out that unfortunately I lost all the audio from that recording. It is just mute video. Not something that would have been completely unusable, but at this point, after many attempts at working with that footage, I've just decided to kind of re-record some stuff. So here we are. Now, you guys may have noticed some very colorful boxes here behind me. Those are shulker boxes. I did not have those last episode. I've been very busy since the last upload. I've gotten a lot of stuff done on the server, both like here on the actual server we're playing on, and also in a single player world that I'm using to kind of pre-plan some of the stuff I want to do this season. So I've been very, very busy. In addition to acquiring all these shulker boxes from our dear friend Diazbit, he sold them to me on a great bargain. He basically asked me to just go dig up a bunch of sand for him, because there's not a good way to get sand in Minecraft without just going and getting it yourself. And I said, hey, hard labor for some shulker boxes, sign me up. So it was a pretty good deal, I think. We got all these boxes, but in addition to that, I also had my first death in game. That's right, I was shot to death by skeletons. That was completely unrecorded. There isn't footage of that anywhere. So right now, I'm going to recreate for you guys what exactly happened, and this is completely unexaggerated. This is exactly how it happened, completely factual. So enjoy. So that, my friends, is the sad, sad story of how I died for the first and only time so far on the PRISM SMP. But it's okay, because we've bounced back stronger than ever. We've got the shulker boxes. I've got my sick new diamond armor. I still need a sword, but we'll get there when we get there. And I have two friends now. Last episode I was asking for name suggestions for this wandering trader head, and since then I've actually picked up a zombie farmer head as well. So we're kind of multiplying our friends here. Look, there was a really good name suggestion here on the server. Someone, RegentTitan, I believe, came by and dropped a sign, basically suggesting a name for the villager head. And then there was a really good suggestion in the comments as well. So thank you to both of you guys for the name suggestions. Roscoe Peaks is a great name for a head that just stands still all the time, because what else is he going to do? It's not like he's going to, sing or nothing. So he's going to be peeking, right? But then Dr. Wares was the name that RegentTitan suggested on his sign. And it makes sense because he's a wandering trader. Doctors kind of travel sometimes. And then, he's got things to sell. He's a trader. So, Dr. Wares, right? I'll be sure to move him around my base every so often so you guys can kind of have like a Where's Waldo moment. But I'll also escort them over to some of the other players' bases, kind of like prank style, right? We'll just kind of let them roam and see things. You guys ever see on Instagram the people with their dogs and the dogs have accounts? I'm gonna kind of, that's Roscoe and Dr. Wares here. They're gonna go on lots of little adventures for sure. So anywho, enough of the yapping. Cypher, what is today's episode about? Well, I'm gonna tell you. So Panda actually reached out to me, letting me know that he had a sugarcane farm very far out on the east, kind of floating above the ocean. And trust me, you'll hear Panda's name a lot this episode, but for right now, let's just stay focused on his gunpowder farm. He has this gunpowder farm for the purposes of making rockets that you can fly around. And hey, I fly around and I'm running low on rockets. So yeah, I'm gonna use that gunpowder farm. But in order to actually make a rocket for the purposes of flying, you need paper as well. And of course, paper is something I can get access to. I have this sugarcane farm here. I let it grow up, I punch it all down, I turn it into paper, and boom, rockets. But that's lame and slow. You guys might remember me talking about this last episode, but on the PRISM SMP, we're using, you can think of it basically as a mod that is allowing us to experience some of the new features coming out to Minecraft this summer early. One of those features is the crafter block, and what this block does is it takes in materials, and then when powered by redstone, it spits out an item. It crafts something using the materials that have been put into it. And that is basically the idea. We are going to make a sugarcane farm that crafts the sugarcane it collects into paper so that when I walk up, I'm just pulling out paper. The only thing is, since I've technically already recorded this episode and everything that you're seeing here now is mostly a re-recording, the paper factory is already done. I've already built it. I am able to time lapse it. I do have time lapse footage available, so I will make sure that you guys see a time lapse here for it. But I figured I would take this opportunity before the time lapse to kind of explain what my base idea is for season 1 of PRISM, because it's a pretty cool idea if I do say so myself. And, you know, it takes a little bit of explanation. I moved over to the waterfall so you guys could have a change of scenery. But anyhow, the base. My base is going to be named Costa Sol. It's going to be a port city with a Mediterranean architecture style, which is not at all like anything I'm used to. You know, last episode I was talking about how I typically do medieval fantasy styles. Sometimes I do cyberpunk. I've never really done a Mediterranean style. And I think it'll be really cool for a few different reasons. So the first reason I think it'll be really cool is because, like I said, it's something new for me. I'm going to challenge myself. And I think that if it turns out well, then it will really help define me as a builder overall. After all, you don't really get better at stuff without doing things that you haven't really tried before. So I think this would be a really healthy challenge to just kind of push me out of my comfort zone. Another reason why I find this to be quite exciting is because the whole point of me making videos now as like an adult is to like kind of be creative and to like re-embrace something that a younger version of myself really wanted to. Really? The rain can't get me from in here. Anyways, where was I? So in high school, in addition to making YouTube videos, I was learning Spanish, right? It was either Spanish or French, and I couldn't tell you why. I just chose to do Spanish. Now, actually, just a few months ago, I started relearning Spanish, which has been going very well. And so I just realized, like, well, wait a minute. If I'm already embracing my younger self by making YouTube videos, I should also kind of go for a Mediterranean style city build where the buildings are all kind of like tan and beige, like these colors that kind of easily fall into the background. But all these plants and foliage and like just scenic details really pull everything together, and the colors just stand out very, very vivaciously. I think it could be one of my coolest bases I've ever built. Whew, much more dry out here now. Anyways, so the big things I'm going to focus on with this base are themes of light. After all, it is Costa Sol, right? Sun of the coast, the coast of the sun. But also just like colors, right? You know, I was talking about how like, you know, the foliage is going to really stick out with like the pale buildings. I think that's going to be very, very beautiful when it's said and done. And then lastly, you know, because it's a city of light, a city of color, it totally makes sense for us to have some parties or fiestas and invite the rest of our server mates to come over and hang out and just party and chill. And it'll be a good time. It'll be a good time. It's just going to take some prep work, of course. Above my gameplay on the screen right now, you should be seeing some images, a couple of which are my reference photos for what Costa Sol might look like kind of in its later stages. But also just kind of the various blocks I will be using to kind of create the buildings. It is going to be kind of like a 3-tone sort of city as far as like the buildings and the roofs all go. But once we get the foliage and extra details in there, like I said, it should pop. It should feel very colorful and very home-like. So again, I'm super excited. I can't contain it anymore. Let's go ahead and get into the time lapse of me building the first building, which is going to be the paper factory. From the outside, I feel like it's exactly what I wanted. It's a very pale building. It doesn't really stand out much. I mean, kind of, right? Because it's just like brown and green and a little bit of pink in the nearby area. But if I go into my little floaty cam here, like in general, it's a very muted building. The colors are very bland and unexciting. It's actually so much so that this like dark oak wood really, really pops out. But that's exactly what I'm talking about. When you have a building that's so pale, literally any sort of detail is going to stick out like a, I don't know, like a red among blue. I don't know how else to describe it, but it's going to stick out a lot. Couple cool details that we got in here. Well, first of all, the kind of circular window there in the roofing is kind of cool. I was trying to come up with a design for lattices. You know how people have like controlled plants like growing up the side of a building or whatever, and I thought this is a pretty decent lattice design. I don't think I've seen this done anywhere else, but it's so simple that I wouldn't be surprised if someone already came up with this. But yeah, it's just like some moss in here with the trap doors, some vines as well. I had to put these trap doors along the sides to prevent it from spreading willy nilly. I'm gonna try and make sure with future lattice designs like that I don't need to do anything like that. But just some really cool lattice designs, and of course the part you guys are probably most interested in is the interior. If we head inside, there's really not a lot going in here right now. Oops, I actually missed. This is supposed to be like a rounded archway, much like this, but I didn't do that part strategically. Of course, I'm gonna, we'll get that in there. But yeah, this is a very empty building. It's got a bed in case I need to sleep in here. I may very well move all my stuff into here and make this basically my temporary living space. Actually, maybe I'll do that here in this episode just so that my stuff's not outside. But either way, we'll actually make this make sense. Maybe there'll be like an author who lives here and uses all the paper to write a story or something. We've got a little silo here. Um, Again, no real reason for this to be here. Just architecturally made it look more interesting. I figured that if there wasn't a writer here, maybe this is like where he or she goes to like get inspiration or to clear their mind or something. But anywho, if we head back down, the bulk of the machinery is up behind that glass and through these walls. So here in this like kind of weird shelving unit I designed is where the paper will come. And I know some of you might be thinking like, well, Cypher, that's only one double chest. Aren't you gonna need a lot more paper than that? And while that is totally a valid concern, this farm doesn't make paper super duper fast. I mean, this has been, oh God, this building has probably been on the server for like, I don't know, several hours at this point. We've only gotten this much paper. So it's kind of a slow burn, but the idea is that if I need rockets, I can come in here and just take some of this instead of having to go and get all the sugarcane. If I use my little floaty cam, I can show you guys the tech. The sugarcane grows up. The observers here see it. They push it down, right? That's a very standard sugarcane farm. But then what happens is that makes it unique. The minecart comes and sucks up all the sugarcane through the sand and drops it off into this hopper, which then goes into this crafter. This crafter is the one that actually does all the crafting. This one's just here for the sake of making the signal work. But yes, this crafter is set to only craft paper, never sugar. And then when it does craft the paper, it goes into this barrel, which then gets sucked up into the chest here in the, what would you call this? Like a foyer, a lobby? I don't know. It's a little dark in here. I'll probably need to fix that too. I mean, there's no mob spawning or anything, probably because of all the torches, but it's still not the best looking. But yes, that is the paper factory. I'm just so happy with this. I think because it's the only building I have so far and the landscape's kind of not helping it, it feels probably a little underwhelming now. I wouldn't blame you if you said like, oh, Cypher, that's not nearly as cool as what I thought it was going to be, especially this side. This is just a very naked blank canvas over here. Eventually, I'll have another building kind of up against the side of it. We're actually going to remove this outer layer of roofing to just really make them cozy together. But I promise you, this is one of those things where you have to trust the process. I think after maybe even just like another 2 to 3 buildings, this whole area will pop off. You can kind of see I've started planning out a little bit where the docks are going to go because it is a port city. So, got to have a place for the boats to dock and land and all that. But that'll be kind of through here and then wraps around this way. It'll cut off just before the river. We'll have like a bridge or something to bring us across. And then at some point, I'm going to decorate this river a little bit more too, but that's kind of a low priority item for now. I know I probably could have used my floating camera for this, but I wanted to get kind of just a general view of what my base is starting to look like when you fly in. I haven't actually really done that yet. So if I come across here, oh, wow. Hold on, let me come in from a lower angle. Oh, man. I see so much potential. I know, again, it's just one building and one waterfall, but when you're coming in, this area has a lot of like character to it. I can totally see it now. Oh man, you guys, I am so excited. This is probably such a weird thing to geek about, but I love building in Minecraft and I always have like these big ideas in my head. And I just think this will be one of the ones that when it translates to to the actual game, I think a lot of you will be as excited as I am. So you'll just have to kind of trust me on that one. Now, we have one last order of business for today's episode, or at least one major piece of business. And when I say business, I literally mean money, economy, transaction deals. That's right. Panda, who I was just talking about earlier with the gunpowder farm, he and I were chatting and we realized that there's a very high demand for blocks that you have to manually dig and you can't really automate. Among those is dirt, but then also, where's my box of sand? Yeah, see all this sand? So many players on the Prism server have actually sold me really powerful and valuable items in exchange for dirt and sand. Like, we have a diamond economy and these guys just want dirt and sand. Like, hello. So given this piece of information, Panda actually approached me and we set up a very, very private, secret organization. I probably shouldn't even be telling you guys right now, but you guys are VIPs around this area, right? You guys are my viewers. I want you to know everything that's going on with me. So Panda and I are going to start a dirt business. We're going to do some dirty business deals, and get real dirt, get real dirty with it. There's only so many puns with the word dirt. Okay. But yes, we are going to set up a secret business. Dirt doesn't currently fall into any of the categories of the guilds that were mentioned in last episode. So that's kind of why it's a risque under the table thing. We can't let people know that we are transacting with an item that's not really supposed to be sold. So anywho, we should have an HQ set up for that, or I think Panda was starting one. Today, we're going to go take a look and see what's there, if anything. All right, well, there's definitely been something happening here. What do we got going on? It looks like Panda might have just leveled this all out. That's a lot of bamboo. Holy smokes. Okay, what else do we got? Not as much dirt as I was expecting. Cobblestone. Oh, here we go. Yes. Okay, so this is going about as well as planned. I think I don't know how much Panda has done. This was something that we talked about several days ago, and I just haven't had a chance to come check it out. But it doesn't seem that our actual like lair for doing business has been set up. It looks like we've just kind of started getting dirt, but that's okay. I think the idea is that somewhere in here we will have a place of doing business, a storefront, if you will. In this cool little, it's actually an island. The river wraps completely around it, so not a very big island, but it's still cool nonetheless. Okay, I think it's very, very cool. You know what's funny, with the number of build projects I have coming up, I'm actually the perfect first customer for our secret business. I might message Panda and ask him how much of the product I can sample because, I've got a lot of areas by my base that aren't very flat, and I need them to get flat very soon. And so suddenly I'm thinking like, this dirt is looking pretty good. But he might say that's not the purpose of us doing a dirt business. He might say, Cypher, this is for selling, not for googly eyeing. Focus, man, focus. Or maybe not, I don't know. Panda's a pretty chill dude. He's a pretty chill dude. So that's our top secret business, okay? I'm trusting you guys to keep that as a top secret, a secret that cannot be shared with anyone. Anyone at all, ever. Not even your grandmother, okay? Not even your grandmother can know about the dirty dirt business. Ow. See, I do have some dirt that I could contribute, but this is kind of, these two boxes are my terraforming boxes, or my landscaping boxes, if you will. I use these to help flesh out the land wherever I'm working. So I kind of want to keep those if I can. This is a different type of dirt, but I need this as well. Again, this will be stuff for Costa Sol. But I don't even know why I'm looking through these. None of these would have dirt. Do I have any more over here? I guess not. I guess if I did have any more, it would be in those two brown boxes. So I'll have to get working on getting some dirt, both for myself and for our business. I'm sure there's many places on the server where people aren't, making any bases or anything, and I could probably level a mountain or something and get a whole bunch. I just need to, find the time to do so. I think for our final bit of video today, to wrap up this episode, we are actually going to take Roscoe and Dr. Wares and just bring them somewhere. We're going to take them somewhere, and I think I know whose base we're going to go to. I'll keep it a secret for now, but we'll just go drop them off. Let them see the world a little bit, and yeah, let's go do that. All right, here we are. Let's see if we can get a nice smooth landing. All right, I wouldn't call that smooth, but we're in. Ooh. Ari did some new floors here. Ari storage. Do not put in storage system. Oh dear. Okay, that's definitely not for us to touch. Hello. I am... Oh no. I am Roscoe. I don't know what else to say. I am Roscoe. This is a nice place you have here. And then Dr. Wares will say, "Yeah, I'm Dr. Wares. We don't know if I could spell correctly. We don't know how to get back to Costa. I'm not gonna be able to fit it. Costa Sol. Shoot. Okay. We don't know how to return. Jeez. Signs, man. They're always a little tricky. There we go. And of course, they need little voices, right? Hey, if you're a PRISM person and you see these guys pop up, just understand it's customary to do a little voice, okay? It doesn't even have to match the voice that the last guy did. It's just important that you do a voice. Anyways. Hello, I'm Roscoe. This is a nice place you have here. I'm Dr. Wares. We need help getting back to Costa Sol. That's perfect. That's literally exactly how I imagine. This is great. Oh my god, I'm so excited for this. Take care of my children. So long for now. It's time to return back to HQ and see how long until Ari logs on and or notices. Home sweet home. Or at least this side of it. Let's see. Did we get any more paper? I'm guessing we're still at basically the same amount. We did get more paper. Go, little farm, go. All right, I think this is a good little view to end things off. But guys, thank you so much for watching today's episode. I'm terribly sorry that it probably felt like a lot of yapping and not a lot of action. I know we did get not one but 2 time lapses in there. But I know that for some of you, you're going to be like, well, where's the action? What did we really do with today's episode? It's one of those things where if my original recording didn't get messed up with the audio side of things, it probably would have felt like a more organic, natural episode 2. But that being said, I mean, I think we've got a lot of potential here. I mean, I think the more, I'd say by episode 4 or 5, maybe even 6, we'll have, I imagine, just more than 2 or 3 buildings, and the dock will be out. Maybe I'll have even decorated the river and put a little bridge in at that point. I mean, I don't know. I don't want to pressure myself, and I don't want to rush myself. Actually, that kind of goes for the videos too. I'm not someone who's going to sit here and say oh, every week I'm going to have a new episode out, because That's how you get people who just quit and hate YouTube and never want to do it again. And I'm just trying to focus on making every episode better than the last. I think with the time lapses this episode, as well as getting the video length down, because let's face it, 45 minutes is a long video. I never intended it to be that long. It just kind of happened. So sorry about that, guys. But yeah, getting the video lengths down, and getting the time lapses in, and even just doing a cool build, something I can actually live in instead of just, being down on the rocks. I hope you guys are still very excited for the future episodes of Prism, or just future videos of mine in general. I know I am beyond excited. I have lots of cool stuff planned for this server alone, but then also I'm starting to brew up ideas for other additional Minecraft content, probably modded, that I can do on the side. So, lots of things are in the pipeline. Don't get sick of me quite yet. But just, I can never say it enough. I appreciate anyone who checks out this video and watches it through here to the end. And I'm very, very grateful for everyone who was a part of the first video. When you start something like this, you assume that no one's going to see it and that no one's going to care. And then it just, I mean, the numbers aren't necessarily anything to like write home about in terms of like I'm not going to text my mom and be like, Mom, I'm famous. But, it's just, it did so much better than I thought. And I wonder if like, when I said that like now's my time and this feels like it feels like I'm entering my era, I wonder, is this happening? Is it becoming real? So I don't know. But you guys are the main reason why, that video did well. So I appreciate you and I thank you. And for helping me with that, I will make sure to keep doing this as best as I can and thinking of you guys every step of the way. That said, if you guys have any ideas for the city, for the dirt business, for any farms, if you have suggestions about, my video edits and things you'd like to see me do or improve upon, please, please, please let me know. I'm not afraid of criticism at this stage of the game. I'm very open to you guys saying like, hey, this isn't adequate or this kind of is not enjoyable. So please voice your opinions in the comment section should you have any. But that's going to wrap it up for today's episode. I'm getting to that point where I'm just kind of talking and, I figure we could be getting episode 3 done right now. You know what I mean? Anyways, guys, my name has been Cypher. I appreciate you all hanging out, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.